stature.
But
That's
you know
still
what?
the attitude.
I think you're right, though. I think, the Irish, they had their ways of dealing with the trauma. They either drank it away or they faced up to it, and they fought it until the end.
Yep.
The English, what did we do at the end of Corona? Well, we built, what does this say? A huge Wicker Man style sculpture is being burned down to commemorate victims of COVID-19. So we just burnt down a Wicker Man statue to, I don't know, celebrate the disaster that was manufactured, that was timed with the arrival of Comet Neowise in the sky. Yeah, so what do you think about this? I mean, we brought up the Wicker Man last time. This idea that there's got to be a sacrifice to propitiate the gods that arose, religions that arose from cataclysmic trauma, such as cometary collisions, meteoric catastrophes, etc. Right?
Right.
What do you think about these King for a Day ceremonies?
Well, uh, there's
I mean, it's right here. They did a Wicker Man. They made a Wicker Man style sculpture, which basically looks like the Eiffel Tower or something. It just looks like a gigantic spire, a big, massive phallic sculpture. Again, that goes back to, Aton worship, right?
right, but do they
The
tell?
obelisk and the spire, right?
But yeah, do they tell people how? Oh yeah, we're doing this, and your deep in your limbic part of your brain is going to
Yeah.
activate from these memories of. And let me explain. Have you heard of Emmanuel Velikovsky? Do you know about David Talbot? Here, let me explain. No, they
No. This is
would you
so
bring
dangerous.
people
This is
to?
so dangerous, right?
Yeah. Well, would you bring people to a big ritual that activates these memories without explaining to them how? Like, by the way, folks, yeah,
Yeah.
this is what it's doing. This is
Yeah. Do people know that kings had their own surrogate sacrifices? People who would sit in for them during a ceremony that was done in the past to propitiate these catastrophic gods. The kings would have a time where they would rule and then they would die. This is showcased in Fraser's The Golden Bough.
yeah,
So after a time, when these ceremonies became devolved, shall we say, they had surrogates come in, and the surrogates also, the amount of surrogates increased. Also, if you go back to Joe versus the volcano, the phrase is even used, king for a day. The same for the Wicker Man, a king for a day. The exact same premise, only for a comedy. And Tom Hanks was a willful sacrifice, other than the sacrifice that was made in The Wicker Man, where he wasn't, and rather he was tricked or fooled into it. But you could also say that Tom Hanks was fooled into it. And I also think that this is partly of what this Wicker Man statue, this kind of stuff, is hoary, very ancient. It goes back to a time where we were very, very scared, very, very hurt, very, very fragile as a race, as a species. And they put it out there. What is it they say? There was this tagline that got me. Oh yeah, the memorial will be built with the help of the local community, then set on fire as a symbol of rebirth. Well, isn't that just quaint? Isn't that lovely?
right, yeah.
The money could go back into the community. No, we're just going to build this thing and set it on fire. Fantastic. Let's have a Burning Man festival as well while we're at it.
So that is
That's England. That's England. That's how they. That's how we recuperate from the COVID and our economy crashing.
right. Well, it's ritualistic, and it has an effect on the mind, and people don't know about the histories. But deeper part of your mind does remember. You could talk to most people, and they have no clue that the solar system was ever different than it is now. But deep in their minds, they have those memories. So if they go to a ritual like that, those memories in their mind are activated. Now, what was the intent behind the ritual? It's possible that whoever set the ritual up knew that this ritual was going to activate memories from ancient times where these cataclysmic traumatic events happened. And then they throw in talismanic words like rebirth and rebuilding the
Yeah.
community, strengthening after this happens. So it's activating the memories of
Yeah, of course, yeah.
degalvanizing, because in ancient times after the cataclysmic happened, there was a process of reforming into groups and re-strengthening the tribe after the catastrophe. So when
Reorientation as well.
yeah, when they throw in these words like rebirth and whatever else, you got to wonder what is the intent of the person who set up the ritual.
Let's go back to the original one, which was, it was clearly just closure, right? It was very elaborate, and the people who were sacrificed in this, it was terrible and awful, but in a way it was a way of closure. And also didn't always include sacrifices. This probably came a bit later and is a corrupted form of what it was originally meant to be, when these druids or whoever came together amongst these megaliths, which were geomantically placed to have some healing effect, some homeopathic widespread effect on the planet to help it heal from these cataclysms. It devolved into somehow, no, we need to propitiate these, because obviously there was more catastrophes, and afterwards we said, well, we're not doing enough to appease these gods. We need to do more. What it goes back to, and the original intent was closure. Now they want to close the issue, close the case, nationwide, on COVID forever. And they're like, okay, let's light a match and watch it all go up in smoke, and then let's forget it all, and let's just move on and forget about the manufactured crisis that we've just been through. That's really dangerous, I think.
They've got this shit honed to a science, man.